Hello, I'm Refashionista Sheri, and as always, if you love all things vintage and thrifted and secondhand and upcycled and thrift flips and just refashions in general, you've definitely come to the right place, and I highly recommend subscribing because I put out loads of new tutorials and content every single week, just like the one I'm doing today for you guys. If you've been with me for a while, you will know that I just can't pass up a vintage lace tablecloth at the thrift shop. So of course I grabbed this one as soon as I saw it, and I think it was only $1.99, which is absolutely magnificent. And yeah, this is our Refashionista victim for today. I think we need to turn this into a very cool floaty top for the warmer weather. And you may be also thinking to yourself, maybe Refashionista Sheri, are you wearing 1980s satin pajamas with shoulder pads? And you know what? Yes, I am, because they are very, very cool. For this quick and easy project, all you need is your tablecloth or a piece of fabric that can comfortably wrap around your body and some lovely trim for the neckline. Now, you don't even really need this. This is optional. I just always like to finish off my necklines with some pretty vintage trim from my stash. Oh, and of course, your sewing gear. This is actually so simple. You could do this with hand sewing. I'm going to use my machine just because it's quicker. But if you don't really know anything much about hand sewing and you're just a beginner, I highly recommend getting my Sewing Basics ebook. Everything's in there and it is super duper cheap. Or better yet, to take my Rockin' Refashioning 101 e-course and you get 50% off with the code REFASHION50, which makes it super duper extra affordable. So all the links will be down below for those. But you know what? Let's just get making this. So I just want to show you what I mean when I say it needs to fit comfortably around your body. Okay, so you see I have the tablecloth totally open. Do this with whatever fabric you're using. If you're using a tablecloth, yay. If you're using a bed sheet, better, I guess. If you're using whatever, just wrap it around your body, and clearly I have a lot of space going on here, so I can use this very easily. Now you have to decide which way to fold your fabric. So this is a rectangle, and I think, do I want to do it this way? And then you can see it's going to be a little bit shorter, but if I use this center kind of decoration here as my neckline area, it stretches like past my wrist. And I don't really think I need it to be that long. So let's try this way. Is it even? I think that's actually even longer. So I'm going to fold it this way, which I think, is that widthwise? We're going to call it widthwise. Anyway, so now let's take it back over to the table and make our shirt. So you can see here I have my fold at the top, and now I am folding it in half once again. So it's going to now have a double fold up at the top area, and I did that so I now have pretty much the exact center where I can chop my gentle half circle here to create my neckline. And as always, please remember to chop off little bits at a time, because it's always easier to chop more than it is to have to try to make something smaller like a neckline by adding the fabric back on. So I'm just going to go do that and then try it on and see if the neckline is okay. Oh, here is another little tip here. Because this is a vintage tablecloth, I find that they're never really totally even, especially when they're handmade. So I really try to flatten it out as evenly as I can, just to try to make sure this is as centered as possible. So even though it looked like I only cut off a small little corner, it definitely is more than enough to create a neckline. And you know what? If you want to be done right now and just have a poncho, have at it. And it's like a no-sew poncho. That's lace. That's very boho and quite cool if you style it right, of course. But we're going to make our funky shirt. So let's get going. I now have my tablecloth folded exactly the same way it was before I chopped off this neckline corner here. And so this area is going to end up being my shoulder seam. This is going to be the front area. And you can eyeball this to make the sleeves, but I'm not going to do that. So I just took off my sweatshirt that I was wearing because it's actually got the width and looseness that I would like this shirt to have. So I'm going to line up the necklines here, and I'm going to give myself a couple centimeters extra, maybe 1 centimeter extra in the front here, and have the sleeves totally straight, and everything else looks pretty well lined up here. So now I'm just going to take a pin and giving myself once again a couple centimeters for seam allowance. I'm going to pop a pin here right underneath the armpit seam of my sweatshirt, and just going to leave all of this as it is and make my life even easier. And now I'm going to cut up here and across here to create basically what is a T shape, right? And then that is going to be my side of my shirt and the bottom of my sleeves. So I opened it up and laid it on the floor. So now you can really see what I mean, that it is in a T shape. And now all I have to do is stitch the sides and the underarms together, and you know what, then the shirt could be done. But of course I'm me, so we're going to do a few more steps. So once again, if you want to be done right now, you can totally be finished. You know, you have a shirt, it is totally completed, and it looks pretty darn cool in my humble refashionista opinion. But as I said, I'm me, and I want to make something that I haven't really made before. So I'm thinking this is a bit wide, right? So I'm going to take in the sides and I'm going to make the sleeves a little bit tighter, maybe a lot tighter as well. And I think I'm also going to make it a bit shorter because I don't want to have to tuck this in because it's so pretty, right? So let's go do that. Oh, and then you know what I'm probably going to add? Of course, some bell sleeves. Let's go do it. So you can see here that I did indeed take off quite a bit, and to do this all I did was stitch it and then chop it. And now I have my soon-to-be shirt folded in half evenly, and I've marked the same amount on the other side. So now I'm just going to go stitch here and stitch down, remove this, and then we can get to making those cool bell sleeves. So you remember these 4 pieces that were chopped out from the side of our T-top shirt here? Well, we're going to use these to make our bells. So I have 2 pieces, one on top of the other with the right sides facing. And I'm just going to go and stitch this open side together and this open side together, leaving this raw edge totally open. And we're going to create 2 fabric tubes. So I stitched my tubes together and then I chopped them to the height that I wanted my bell sleeves to be. And I now have 2 extra tubes left over. So this is going to go in my stash for something else cool in the future. And now let's get these sleeves on the bottom of these sleeves. As always, I have my shirt right side out. I have my bell sleeve cuff here inside out, and I'm going to put the sleeve inside the bell sleeve cuff, like so, with the right sides facing each other. And then I'm going to make sure that I have the underarm seam lined up with this side seam of the bell here, and just pin that in place. And I mean, if you've been with me for a while, you know, I'm just going to go around and make this all even, eyeballing it with my pin tucks. And as always, once again, if you don't know how to do pin tucks, I'll link the tutorial down below for you. But I'm going to go finish this and stitch it all around, do the other one, and then we'll come back and see what it looks like. And then we're going to do the neckline. So I have both of the sleeve cuffs stitched on, and when we flip them down, look at that. How totally adorable is that? Very lovely, floofy bell sleeves. Now I think I'm just going to go bind up this neckline with, no, that's too white. That's too dark. Maybe this one? Or, I mean, that's really white, but it's a very similar pattern. So yeah, we'll see which one I choose. I'm not sure right now, but I will link down below to my hem binding tutorial for you. So the neckline is done and it looks so awesome. My sleeves are gorgeous, and I did in fact shorten this, and then I bound up the hem with some more groovy lace. Now let's go try this on and style it up. Are you freaking kidding me? I think this is my favorite thing that I've made in a very, 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 very long time, and I'm definitely going to be making more. I am always shocked that my brain comes up with this stuff, and not only that, tells my body how to make it. I cannot get over it. I really can't. I'm always so shocked at my own self, which probably isn't a good thing, right? But wow, I really want to know if you are going to try to make one of these, because did you see how easy that was? Did you see how quick that was? If I don't have to film, I mean, this would be like less than half an hour to do, if that even. It's so simple, so quick, and the result, hello, you don't get any more cool, I guess, Stevie Nicks type of look than this. I love this so much. And look, the collar came out absolutely beautifully. Unfortunately, I can't say the same thing about my hair. And there's a whole story behind why the curls that I had like 5 minutes ago are gone. And I don't know. If you guys have any tips on how to keep curl in your hair, please let me know down below. But I'm just thinking you have no idea what I'm talking about, because I haven't played that clip yet, have I? No, I haven't. So let's roll it. I scored these vintage Clairol hot rollers on the Carrot app for free because they were missing the clips. So I just went and I got some replacement clips, and we're gonna try these out now. These are the clips that I got, and they come in 3 sizes, and there's like 30 of them, which is awesome. And I just got them on Amazon. They cost, I think, $8 or $9, so steal of a deal, if this is actually going to work. I've never used hot rollers, so I'm learning as I'm going, and you're right along with me. So let's see how this is going to work out. So I figured that I should put at least some of my hair up because I have quite thick hair, and I just have these 2 sections down. And I'm going to start with the biggest rollers. Everything is super hot, by the way, so I'm a bit terrified, but we'll see. There we go. I got one, and I have the biggest clip. So I'm going to take, I'm not really sure how much hair I should put in this. Let's do like this much, and then supposedly you put it part way down and then wrap the end around, and thankfully it's not like burning hot on my fingers. And we just roll up like this and put the clip around like a giant, whatchamacallit, clip, bobby pin clip. Okay, look, it's staying. Okay, I'm gonna go do the rest of my hair, including the top, and then we're gonna come back and see what's next. And here we are. I am totally rolled. I have no idea what it looks like in the back, and again, it's my first try, so I did my best. But these clips actually had some reviews saying that they didn't hold, but oh, they're super holding for me. I think it's just a matter of how tight you roll the rollers, and I did mine pretty tight, except this one here you can see is kind of hanging on, but it's still staying, so I don't know. Okay, now apparently I just gotta kind of sit around and let these do their work for 20 minutes, half an hour, and then we're gonna take it out to sea. So it's been about 20-ish minutes and I think it's time to take them out. They still feel a little bit warm, but let's just take them out because I'm very curious what they're gonna look like. And, oh, bouncy, bouncy. Oh my goodness, I think that worked. So I'm gonna go ahead and take all the rest of these out. Wow, it definitely curled the ends. And like I said, I have very thick hair and it really doesn't like to hold a curl very well. So I'm very impressed. These are a bit of a struggle to get out. Oh, lovely. Okay, I'm gonna go take the rest of these out and then we're gonna get the final result. This is very bouncy and I would say pretty darn curly, especially on the ends. I don't know what to do now though. I'm not really sure if I should brush it, but I don't think I should brush it. So I'm just gonna run my fingers all through and see what happens. Wow, this is definitely lovely 70s, 80s hair. Oh my goodness. And it feels so soft too. I wonder if the hot rollers actually are kind of like a good little treatment to do every now and then. How fantastic does this look? As I said, if you guys have any tips for, you know, keeping a curl in thick unruly hair, which apparently I just found out my type of hair is called Irish hair or Celtic hair, which makes a lot of sense because my ancestors are from that area of the world. But you know, it's curly, it's straight, it's wavy, it's everything all at once, and there's an awful lot of it which weighs it down, making the curls just say, yeah, we're not sticking around, see ya. That was good, wasn't it? That was a good one. Anyway, so as I always say, be sure to stay safe, stay well, and I'll catch ya on the zigzag. And please tell me your curly hair staying tips, and if you're gonna make one of these, because it's just too easy and it's just so gorgeous. It's so beautiful.
This is Confessions of a Refashionista.